I want to share one of my favorite writing rules or techniques, and that is that good writing is centered around nouns and verbs. A lot of times when we are newer to writing or we first start writing, we think that we're going to really make our words sing and things are going to pop if we come up with the exact right adjective, a really great descriptor. And really what makes our language stand out to people, what makes it easy to read, what makes it um, something that people can get through in a simple way, and also what makes it resonate emotionally and connect with readers are well utilized nouns and verbs. And this is something that I was not taught um, ever in school. I learned it by reading other writers talking about writing, people like Stephen King, who has an amazing book called On Writing. And you will see this, I think, if you start paying attention to the lyrics of songs, if you pay attention to lines in TV shows that really grab you and stand out. The language that resonates in our brains is language that is primarily based around nouns and verbs. So you don't need to get rid of adjectives and adverbs, but limit them significantly. And this is something in my experience that takes a little bit of time to get used to. So it's going to take your ear some time to adjust. It's going to take your writing style a few months, maybe a couple of years to readjust your writing if you've been primarily driven by adjectives. So have some patience with yourself as you adjust to this type of writing. But I think it will revolutionize your ability to draw emotional connections with your audience. So I'm going to share my screen here with you for a second, and I'm not super great at this, so bear with me. Okay, and I have a little presentation that has some examples here. So here's a quote from my presentation was going forward without me. Pardon me. So here's a quote from the book Good Omens, which is one of the few books, as far as I know, that was actually co-written. And it was co-written by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. This quote reads, "It may help to understand human affairs to be clear that most of the great triumphs and tragedies of history are caused not by people being fundamentally good or fundamentally bad, but by people being fundamentally people." Okay, and on the next screen here, I have highlighted the nouns and verbs. So the nouns are in pink and the verbs are in blue. And you will see, first of all, you can see there's a lot of nouns and verbs. And the words that are not nouns and verbs, a lot of them are pronouns and just simple connector words like and but a lot of them are prepositions like by and of, and simple words that you just need to structure the sentence. And then some of the words that are adjectives, they're not fancy adjectives. They're not adjectives that are trying to show off or take the attention of the sentence. There are adjectives in here like most, great, fundamentally is maybe a medium size adjective, but it's reused 3 times. So it's really not set up in the sentence for fundamentally to grab a lot of the attention. So the words, that are really standing out here are words like triumphs and tragedies and history, and those are all nice, meaty nouns. Verbs like caused and being, and not super fancy verbs, but they're good, impactful verbs, and they really tell you what is happening in the sentence. The dog is trying to get my attention. Okay, another example is a line that a lot of people, especially people maybe 30 and older, are going to know. And this is from Stephen King, who I think is an amazing writer and very good at this part of writing, especially of using nouns and verbs and eschewing adjectives and adverbs. So this is, it's the book that this is in is called Different Seasons, but You may know this quote from the movie Shawshank Redemption. Either get busy living or get busy dying. And I've highlighted the nouns and verbs here, and there really isn't a noun in this sentence. There's maybe an implied noun of you, or maybe you're talking to yourself or you're talking to the other person, but there's just so much verb content for the amount of language, the amount of words that are in this sentence. Get busy living, get busy dying. And you could maybe say busy is an adverb, but there is undoubtedly a lot of verb content in just a small amount of sentence. And I think that's one reason why this sentence jumps out at us and is such a powerful sentence. And so many people remember this line from this story and from the movie Shawshank Redemption. It's one of the lines that people quote. And you might say that it's because it's such a great sentiment and it's so simply stated. But one of the reasons, if we drop down to the language level, the reason that we feel like this is so simply stated, I love the way he said it with such simple elegance, it's because he's using nouns and verbs, or in this case, verbs. So I just want to share this point with you because it's something that revolutionized my writing and I find it really helpful, and I want other writers to know this because when I work with students, this is one of the primary challenges that I see in young writers. And one of the first things, it's the thing I teach my writers day one is nouns and verbs, nouns and verbs. That's what your writing should be coming from. So I hope this is helpful, and thank you for watching.